Hello, this is Spartan Commander, and this is the 344th Rome Total War Brotherhood game that I've put onto YouTube. As you can see, this battle was fought on the flat, featureless map. And just to say that, as you know, I put battles on from years ago, months ago, weeks ago. But I thought I'd do something a bit different today and put this battle on that was only fought last night, Friday the 21st of the 9th, 18. So this is a really fresh battle. Okay, our first teammate is an RTW player called Terry Wong. Several of you may know Terry Wong. He's a very good 31k player. And as you can see, he's bought the Rome Scipio faction here. And I think he's got the 14 infantry and the 6 cavalry there. So he's got the bog standard 31k army. Just have a look at the upgrades on his general. Can you see he's got 8 upgrades? So that's 2 experience stripes, gold shield, gold attack on his general. So that's going to make that general an extremely difficult unit to kill. You see he's got his 6 cavalry. Let's have a look at the upgrades on his cavalry. And on his cavalry, he's just got 6 upgrades. So he's just got gold shield, gold attack on his cavalry units there. So I say that's the bog standard 14 infantry and 6 cavalry 31k army. Okay, our next teammate is Brotherhood member Trajan. A lot of you know Trajan, very good player, and he's bought the Rome Scipio faction. As you can see here, he's bought I think it's 3 archer units, and I think it's 11 infantry there he's bought. So he's got 3 archer units, 11 infantry and 6 cavalry. Very well balanced army there, I think. So look at his upgrades on his cavalry. You can see he's got 7 upgrades. So that's an experience stripe, gold shield, gold attack. So that's a very well balanced army there. 3 archers, 11 infantry and 6 cavalry. Okay, our next teammate is Brotherhood member Legion 22, and Legion 22's bought the Macedon faction. Now at one time in his RTW career, Macedon was his faction of choice, and he used to bring this quite a lot. Recently he hasn't been bringing it so often, but for this particular battle last night he decided to bring Macedon. I think he's got something like 13 pike units. Yeah, I think it's like 13 pike units there, and 5 Cretan archers. Obviously the big 120-man unit's very susceptible to missile damage, so he needs the Cretan archer cover. And I see he's got 2 fast-moving general armoured units there, cavalry general armoured units. So that's a pretty good army there. Okay, and our next teammate is myself, Spartan Commander, who has also bought the Rome Scipio faction. And I've just got my very old-fashioned 12 infantry and 6 cavalry army. Now remember, most of my infantry have got an experience stripe on. Now when the battle gets towards the end and the battle actually gets very close and it goes down to the wire, sometimes that experience stripe can make a difference. So it'll be interesting to see how well this army does during the course of the battle. So there's our team. You wait till you see the other team. It should be a great one to watch. And here is the other team. We have RTW BH member Icarus, Brotherhood member Icarus, who's bought the Rome Scipio faction. And as you can see there, he's got 12 infantry, and I think he's got 2 Roman archers there. So he's got 12 infantry, 2, and he's got 6 cavalry. So look at the upgrades on his cavalry. As you can see, he's got 7 upgrades. So that's an experience stripe, gold shield, gold attack. So that's quite a nice balanced army as well. 2 archers, say 12 infantry and 6 cavalry there. Yep, so it'll be interesting to see how well that army does during the course of the battle. Their next teammate is Brotherhood member TR, who has bought the Carthage faction. A lot of you might know TR, very good with pikes and spear factions as well as Rome, so it'll be interesting to see how well he does with Carthage here. I think he's got something like 13 or 14 spear units there, and he's just got 3 fast-moving armoured general units there, cavalry armoured general units, plus he's got his Balearic slingers. Now the Balearic slingers have got quite a good range, and they can do quite a bit of damage. I noticed he's got 5 upgrades. If you notice, they've got that little pouch on their belt where they carry their slingshots. So that's the Carthage army there, and no Sacred Band cavalry, just those fast-moving units. It'll be interesting to see how well the infantry does there without the lot of Sacred Band cavalry. The third teammate is Brotherhood member Bark, who has bought the Rome Brutio faction. I think he's got 14 infantry there. So look at the upgrade. See, he's also got an eagle unit within his army there, giving his infantry more morale. So he's also got his urban cohort general and his eagle unit morale giving units there, so that's given a lot of morale to his fighting infantry. Plus he's got 6 cavalry. Let's have a look at the upgrades on his cavalry, and he's got 6 upgrades on his cavalry, so he's got gold shield, gold attack on those cavalry there. So that looks a pretty good army to me. And their 4th teammate is that's IOW Winnie the Pooh. IOW Winnie the Pooh, who's also bought the Rome Brutii faction there. I see he's got 2 archer units out the front of his main infantry. And I think he's got 12 infantry units there and 6 cavalry. Quick look at the upgrades on his cavalry. And he's got 7 upgrades. So he's got an experienced stripe, gold shield, gold attack on his 6 cavalry. So that's a pretty good balanced army there as well. So there's the enemy team. It's got the ingredients to be a great battle, and I hope you enjoy it. Okay, at this stage of the battle, I thought we'd have a look at Legion 22's unusual pilot shield unit. Now, when I say unusual, it's just the positioning of that pilot shield unit way out the front of his main battle formation there. That's very unusual. You don't see that. I don't think other people use that type of kind of formation there with those 2 so far out. But remember, when you build a custom army for yourself and you build a formation for yourself as well, you build it for the best for you. So you know, if this is the way that he likes to play, then that's absolutely great. But having that pilot shield so far out, very unusual. Okay, at this very early stage of the battle here, can you see that Trajan has brought 3 of his archers out here? There's his army there. He's brought 3 of his archer units out here to cover his Macedon ally. He knows that archer damage could really do a lot of damage to his Macedon ally there. So he's brought 3 of his archer units across there to help cover his Macedon ally there. That's just a display of really great teamwork there. As I say, he brought those archers out there to try and cause as many casualties on the enemy archers before they can start targeting his Macedon ally. You can see there he's moving his archers back a little bit there, but it's just to say it's good teamwork. I just think newer players to Rome Total War, when you fight in team battles, that's what it's all about. It's all about team battle, looking after each other. And remember what that catchphrase we talked about in other battle videos? Battlefield awareness, looking to where you can help your allies. But that was a nice display there by Trajan. Yeah, so as you can see here, Trajan here, as I say, moved his archers right away from his army here just to help defend his Macedon ally. And it's quite good for Legion 22's Macedon units there, because Legion can keep his long-range Cretan archers fresh and behind his infantry here, ready to use when he needs to, while his allies here are using their I say Trajan uses his archer units here to try and weaken at least the enemy archers. Can you see that TR's bought a fast-moving armoured cavalry unit over here with a view to try and take out those archers? But Trajan spotted that and pulled his archers back into safety within my my infantry there. You can see there's a lot of pilot exchanging going on here, as you can see. And as I say, you can see Legion 22 keeping his Cretan long-range archers fresh and fully loaded with arrows there, ready to use them when he's ready. Over here on the right flank, you can see there's already been a bit of action. You can see some dead cavalry and infantry there, and a lot of pilot exchanging going on between the opposing pilot shield units over here on the right flank. It'll be interesting to see where the action's going to kick off here, whether it'll be on this right flank or maybe it'll be on the other flank. We just have to wait and see. I see Bark moving his Brutii army forward towards Trajan's army there. Probably a bit of pilot exchanging going on there yet between the 2 pilot shield units. At one stage it seems that those pilots come in like rain, don't they? You see so many of them coming in, causing so many casualties. You can see a cavalry hit going in there, and bang, as those couple of cavalry units hit that Brutii unit and rout it. Nice little surgical hit with cavalry there. Just went in, took out that infantry unit and then back off before it gets any casualties from pilots there. As you can see here, the IOW Brutii member here has lost a few cavalry. I see Bark's cavalry is out here on the right flank as well, and it looks like they may well try to launch an attack maybe on this right flank. Meanwhile, over on our left flank here, you can see that I think Legion 22's pilot shield unit's under attack from a SBQR unit. It should be a great battle for you to watch, and I hope you enjoy it. Okay, at this stage of the battle, you can see that one of Legion 22's Pilot Shield unit has been routed, and the enemy are now concentrating on his second Pilot Shield unit there. If you notice, you can see the Carthage Sacred Band and the SBQR Roman troops there are trying to rout that second Pilot Shield unit there of Legion 22. You see those Carthage Sacred Band moving forward, aggressively attacking the Macedon pikemen there. And that I'd say that SBQR unit attacking it as well, trying to take out the Pilot Shield units there. It wouldn't surprise me if that Macedon unit routed pretty soon with the pressure that's on it. There you go, it's just been broken there. So in that one quite quick instant there, both of Legion 22's Pilot Shield units have been taken out. Right, if you notice here, can you see I'm moving my Scipii troops over towards my Macedon ally there? Because what the enemy would like to do is put that SBQR army forward and throw hundreds of pilots into my Macedon ally, knowing that those 120 man units are extremely susceptible to missile damage. So what I've got to do as a good teammate here is to try and cover my Macedon ally with my infantry, so that my Pilot Shield units will soak up the pilots instead of letting his 120 man units suffer big casualties. Do you notice how I've pulled across there? Trying to cover the front of my my Macedon ally there. As I say, new players to Rome Total War. We've talked about this before. Team battles are all about that. Teamwork, helping each other out. If one of you do really well on the battlefield but you don't help your teammates, you might turn around and find your teammates have been beaten, and then there's a victorious enemy army heading towards you and the team will lose. Okay, as you can see here, I just want to have a look at Terry Wong's formation here. Can you see he's got open order units in front of battle lines here, all the way down through his formation. See that open order unit in front of those three battle units there, and another open order unit there in between, in front of those other three. So that's an interesting formation there. Kind of like soaking up pilots as the enemy move forward through his army there, if you like. Those open order units can soak up the pilots. Right, can you see this Testudo unit moving into Terry Wong's units? As it makes contacts, it may well break up. There's lots of pilots going in there as well. Let's say, there you go, can you see the Testudo unit now is broken up? He's now attacking the Scipii troops there. Nice little move there by the Brutii general. There's another Scipii cavalry attack coming in, and bang, as that cavalry hits, looking to take out that big 120 man Eagle unit there, which he's just done. Nice, once again, nice surgical hit with cavalry there. Another cavalry hit going in, and bang, as that cavalry hit goes in there. But if you notice, the Brutii cavalry are now counter-attacking that Scipii cavalry hit with their cavalry. There's more Brutii cavalry moving in as well. It looks to me like the battle may well kick off on this right flank. There's lots of enemy cavalry and lots of our cavalry over on this side as well. And bang, as that Brutii cavalry goes into another Scipii unit there. Very aggressive use of cavalry over here on the right flank. Looks like a nice counter-attack coming in here by the Scipii cavalry. But if you notice that TR has brought a couple of his Carthage Sacred Band spear units over here to help his ally. But remember, when you've got spear units in the battle, you've got to be very careful with your own cavalry, because remember, friendly spears, friendly pikes kill friendly cavalry. So the Brutii general is going to have to be careful where he uses cavalry here with those spears in use. Right, you see there's a massive, looks like there's a massive cavalry battle going on here now in the right centre. Lots of Brutii cavalry going in, lots of Scipii cavalry going in. See that Brutii cavalry going in, and bang, as that cavalry hits. Scipii cavalry going in, and bang, as that Scipii cavalry goes in. You see the Macedon generals charging his companion cavalry in as well, or those couple of cavalry units there, fast moving general units on, they're all moving in on that Brutii cavalry there, but we're starting to lose. I can see some of our Scipii infantry and cavalry starting to rout there over on our right flank and right centre. Remember, the enemy are the green, the purple and Carthage, and we are the blue and Macedon. Okay, right, this is a nice hit here by Terry Wong going in there with his Scipii cavalry, and bang, into the rear of that Brutii unit there that was trying to flank his infantry. Nice hit there. Right, just pause the game to take stock of exactly what's going on. That was a nice hit there. As you can see, a lot of Brutii infantry and Scipii units engaged, and you've got a lot of missile troops out the enemy missile troops out the rear of their army. They're shooting slingshots and arrows into our troops. Trajan there is not engaged with the enemy at the moment in our right centre, but over here on our left, can you see I've now moved my army completely in front of my Macedon ally there, with a view to stop pilot damage to my ally. As you can see here, the SBQR troops are aggressively attacking my pilot shield units there, and over on the left you can see the enemy's got his cavalry out there ready to charge in, and there's Carthage army right behind the SBQR army as well there. So our left flank, not really a lot going, a bit of skirmishing with pilot shield units, but the main event seems to be over on the right flank there. And bang, as that Scipii cavalry goes in there. Now whether this right flank is going to prove decisive or pivotal to the battle, we'll just have to wait and see. I can see some more Brutii cavalry charging in there. He's pulled the trigger. Bang, as that Brutii cavalry smashes into our Scipii ally there. That is some kind of impact to Terry Wong's infantry. Right, can you see I've brought my Scipii cavalry over from the other flank, and I'm charging my cavalry in there along with the Macedon cavalry, and bang, as my cavalry charges in to that Brutii infantry there. You got Terry Wong coming in from the right flank as well, smashing into the rear and flank of the enemy there, and the great sandwich attack there. My cavalry going in, and Terry Wong's cavalry going in, and the Macedon cavalry going into there to that Brutii infantry. Whoa, what a massive hit that the enemy took there. Lots of their units routing at this stage of the battle. Okay, so that was a nice combination cavalry hit there. I think Terry charged forward with his infantry as well, so that was a nice combination of cavalry and infantry attack there that's now routed a lot of the enemy units. I see Terry's got cavalry in behind the enemy as well. He may well charge in to try and take out that Brutii general there. But as you can see over on this right flank, this could prove pivotal to the outcome of the battle here. See Trajan charging his cavalry in there as well. Bang, as that cavalry goes in. But that Brutii general now is quite exposed to being hit, so that's where we need to do the hammer blow now. Try and hit that Brutii general, general there, because remember that Brutii general is giving morale bonus not only to his own troops but to the other enemy troops as well. So if we can take that Brutii general out, that's what we need to do. Right, can you see that TR has brought his Carthage army up over to this flank here to try and shore up this flank of the enemy. That's a nice team move there by TR, bringing his Carthage army over here. Right, that's the enemy Brutii general gone. Some more cavalry charging in, and bang, as Trajan cavalry hits that battered Brutii line. Some more Brutii cavalry coming in here from our right flank, hitting the flank of our troops there. Nice hit there by the Brutii cavalry. And if you notice here, I moved my cavalry. Let's just pause the game for a second. So if you notice here, I'm bringing my cavalry in here to try and counter that Brutii cavalry that's just charged into the flank of our allies. As you can see, a lot of Carthage and Brutii troops moving in on that right flank. If you notice here, both myself, Trajan's engaged, but myself and Legion 22 have moved our armies over from the left here, moving over towards the right of our battle line there, looking to support our allies there. But by doing that, this SBQR general could flank us and move around, say, do a flanking attack there, both on myself and Legion. So, but we just felt it was the safest thing to do, to move over here to try and help on this right flank. Let's say this right flank, maybe we think at this time it could be decisive here. If we can beat the enemy on the right flank, we could go in to win the battle. Right, can you see my cavalry charging into the Brutii cavalry, and bang, as my cavalry hits, routing a lot of that Brutii cavalry here on our right flank. If you notice, the enemy here have brought over SBQR cavalry there, and I can see some Carthage Sacred Band moving forwards towards my cavalry, so it's time to move my cavalry out of there. Remember, all pike and spear units have got anti-cavalry bonus, so don't tangle with pikes or spears with your cavalry, because you will lose a lot of men there. Right, can you see the SBQR cavalry look like it was going to charge in then, and then back off? Let's just pause the game for a second. Right, if you notice here on the left flank, can you see how I've turned my army to face potentially two enemy armies here, the Brutii and the SBQR army. Now the reason I've done that is because I'm going to allow hopefully Legion 22 to run his Macedon army into the enemy here without being harassed on his flank by the enemy Roman troops there. I've got cavalry out there as well to support him. There's a lot of enemy missile troops out there as well, but if I can hold that left flank against the Brutii and SBQR armies there, Trajan's armies fighting there as well, then that will allow, as I say, Legion 22 to take that big Mastodon army forward and hopefully engage the enemy and hopefully take them out. As you can see, Terry Wong's infantry still fighting. Remember, that infantry's been fighting for a long time now, so it'll be tired. And you see TR's Sacred Band Spearman there. He's probably going to move them in as soon as he sees the Mastodon pikemen moving forward. A lot of the enemy Brutii army of IOW Winnie the Pooh has now been routed. In fact, most of it has been routed now at this stage. So we're not doing too bad on the right flank and right centre at this stage of the battle. Right, as I thought here, you can see the enemy SBQR Icarus here is moving around on a left flank in action. You can see here, can you see I'm charging my cavalry forward here? And what I'm trying to do is a surgical hit. Can you see where I'm going for? I'm going for those engaged Brutii units there, and bang, as I hit with the cavalry. But you see the Brutii are now counter-attacking with theirs. It wouldn't surprise me if the SBQR, there you are. You can see the SBQR, enemy SBQR cavalry charging as well. And you can see that TR is thrown in his Sacred Band Spearmen as well, but with their spears down. So they're using their swords at the moment so that he doesn't cause any casualties to his allies' cavalry. Nice move there by TR. Okay, there, so you can see there's a lot of aggressive attacking going on. Let's just pause again for a second, take stock of exactly what's going on. Right, you can see here the enemy SBQR army, fresh troops there, basically intact infantry, going to move around to our right flank, I would have thought, and attack my flank. Over here you can see that most of Trajan's infantry has been routed there, although he's fighting really well. He's got some units left which he's pulled back into my infantry there, so we've integrated our infantry there against that vicious Brutii and Carthage and SBQR attack that was coming in on us there. As you can see over there, Legion 22's Macedon army is facing the Carthage Sacred Band. So and that's an intact, basically an intact Macedon army there. Okay, he lost his 2 pilot shield units at the beginning there, but that's a massively thick pike formation there for the Carthage Sacred Band to take on. If you notice here, some of the TR's fast moving general units, he's charged around the rear there to take out our Cretan archers. I've charged some battle damaged cavalry in, but I've lost some of my cavalry there. As I say, my cavalry was extremely battle damaged anyway, but we've managed to try to neutralise that Carthage cavalry attack on our archers. As you can see, a lot of Terry Wong's Scipii troops, our ally, has now been routed. And you can see, just pause again for a second here, you can see that Macedon is moving forward towards the Carthage Sacred Band in it, and that massive formation, but I think Legion's bringing some units over to help. As you can see here, Trajan and myself here are trying to hold against that Brutii attack and that SBQR fresh infantry coming in, and that SBQR cavalry ready to charge in there. You can see a lot of Icarus's missile troops are out there as well as infantry. Those missile troops be shooting in on us all the time. So I say, if you notice, I've turned a couple of my units in my formation here to try and face the SBQR attack. Nice bit of teamwork here by Legion 22, bringing 4 of his Mastodon pike units over here to assist Trajan and myself, who are being heavily attacked by SBQR and Brutii troops. There's some Brutii cavalry going in there, and bang, as that cavalry hits straight into the forward units of my formation. As you can see here, a lot of pilots being thrown into Legion 22's pikemen there, as the SBQR army attacks the flank of my formation there, and actually attacking the Macedon troops there. As I say, there's a lot of enemy cavalry there ready to charge in. Remember, my army here is an old army. Most of my units have got stripes. The units that haven't got stripes have already routed, so my infantry now with that experienced stripe on are holding against this massive hit. See that SBQR cavalry charging in, and bang, as that cavalry smashes into my engaged units there. But my units still hold because that experienced stripe keeps them fighting. If they were just gold, they may well have routed then. As you can see, there's lots of SBQR units ready to pull into the fray. You can see lots of Macedon, our allies' units, starting to rout now. So things not looking very good for our team as it stands at the moment. There's a nice move there of Legion to bring those units over to support me, but I'd just like to draw your attention to TR's great tactical use of Sacred Band here. Can you see how he's getting in behind the Mastodon units, attacking their flank and rear with his spear units? So remember, in RTW, you don't just have to attack the barricaded front door. If you go around the back, you can do a lot of damage through doing that. That's exactly what TR is doing there. So as I say, elements of Trajan's units and my units army there are trying to hold against this Brutiote and SBQR attack. Luckily we've got some Mastodon units there to back us up, but as you can see, the enemy are really aggressively and viciously attacking our units there. You see, you've got 3 fresh SBQR units ready to throw into the fray when he needs to. So we're just about holding there at the moment. But over here on the right flank, can you see Legion 22's Mastodon units are being engulfed, if you like, by those Carthage Sacred Band. And it wouldn't surprise me if those Mastodon units start to rout. Do you remember how many Mastodon units were there? There was loads and loads of Mastodon units there, and they have all been routed by that Sacred Band. Let's just pause the game for a second. Remember, we saw there was a massive stack of Mastodon units there, and they have now been routed by a combination of Brutiote, but mostly Carthage Sacred Band units there. So Legion 22's lost a large chunk of his army there, over on that right side of our formation. Now the enemy would just, now they've beaten his Mastodon units, would just pour in behind us now and attack our flank and rear with those victorious units. Icarus has still got his cavalry ready to charge in. There's another Sacred Band unit out there, and they've got, as I say, they've got SBQR units here ready to throw into the fray when needed. I think one of my, I got some cavalry, very, very battle damaged cavalry at the back there, and I got a rallied Scipio unit here that I've charged into this SBQR unit here as well. But as I say, things not looking very good after Legion lost so many of his units there. And as I say, when they defeated that last Mastodon unit, I think it's just probably going to go any second. They then can then charge into the rear of our engaged troops here. Let's say you got SBQR, fresh SBQR troops here ready to charge in whenever necessary. And I think the last of there's some SBQR cavalry charging in, and bang, as that cavalry charged in to engaged infantry there. But those victorious enemy troops now that have just taken out most of Legion's pike units there can now move into the rear. Right, can you see I'm charging battle damaged cavalry into the flank of that engaged SBQR cavalry, and bang, infantry there as I charge in, trying to cause as many casualties as I can to the enemy. Right, let's just pause the game here. So as I say, most of the Mastodon units there have been routed, and the victorious enemy troops will now be moving over to attack the flank and rear of our troops. So as I say, things not looking very good for us at the moment, and those archers there have been shooting arrows into us all the way through the battle, causing casualties all the time there. Remember, we are the blue and Macedon, so we are the blue and Macedon. The enemy are the green, the purple and Carthage. So just at a glance you can see exactly what's going on there. Those SBQR troops looking to get in behind us. It wouldn't surprise me if they went for Terry Wong's general there. See Terry Wong's general guarding our rear there. It wouldn't surprise me if they went to hit him. Obviously they know if they take him out, that'll lower the morale of any of his troops that are left, and bang, as that infantry hits his general. I notice Terry's got his units in guard mode there to receive that attack, but you've got SBQR cavalry charging in as well. Legion spotted the danger and is turning a pike unit back to face the danger there. Terry Wong's general held well there against that attack, but as you can see, as I said, our team are Macedon and the blue. The enemy are purple, green and Carthage. Okay. Luckily for us, all our generals are alive. The Macedon general and our 3 Scipio generals are all alive, so we're all giving morale bonus to our troops. An SBQR cavalry trying to go into the flank of Legion's general there, hoping to maybe take out the Macedon general, knowing that Macedon morale is not very good. If they can take the general out, then of course the Macedon morale would drop so badly. With them being so aggressively attacked, a lot of those Macedon units could rout if the general's taken out. Right, if you notice there's a gap there for the enemy to have moved into us, but if you notice I've moved my infantry unit across there to try and cover that gap where the enemy could have moved in to get in behind us. Cavalry unit going into the green general there, and bang, as one of our Scipio cavalry units trying to kill that green general off there. And you can see now a lot of SPQR cavalry and infantry there, just kind of picking off some of our units that are still outside the formation. We've formed a defensive formation here against the enemy attack. And when you form a formation like this, there's a lot of micromanagement involved, because obviously units are being weakened and routed. Can you see here we've still got our 4 generals left? But as I say, with micromanagement in this formation, you need to move units around to try and shore up places where you're going, where you're seeing that your formation is going weak. So we need to do a lot of micromanagement there. As you can see, we're pretty well surrounded by enemy troops here. Remember, we're the blue and Macedon, the enemy are the purple, the green and Carthage. So just at a glance there, you can see these archers here have been shooting into us all game, causing massive casualties to us there. TR still got to bring some of his sacred band to bear onto our formation. But as I say, our defensive formation here depends on good micromanagement, moving units round to weakened positions here so that our formation doesn't cave in, with the enemy aggressively attacking us. As you can see there, the enemy archers shooting fire arrows into us, so not only causing casualties but lowering morale of our troops as well. We've still got rogue cavalry units floating around the battlefield, smashing into the rear of enemy infantry there. Bang! As Trajan's cavalry unit goes in there and pulls out just before the enemy cavalry hits him, causing casualties. Nice little surgical hit, causing casualties, then getting out of harm's way. You can see Legion moving his pike units around within our defensive formation there, moving to weakened spots of our formation, trying to shore them up. Glad to see some of the enemy troops starting to rout at this stage. But you can see we are completely surrounded here by enemy troops. As I say, luckily we've still got our generals there, so still giving morale bonus to our troops. Because when your troops are surrounded, their morale does lower. They realise they're surrounded and their morale does lower there. But as long as you've got your general there, that should keep their spirits up. The main problem with Macedon is if their units start to rout, as you know, that because their morale is so low, it can spark off a chain rout, and then my troops and my allies' troops there will be affected by allies routing. Our morale will drop, and there could be a chain mass rout. See that SPQR cavalry going in and bang, trying to start off a mass rout there. You see, nice little hit there by the SPQR cavalry. If he had more cavalry, it would have done more damage. But remember, my troops that are left have got an experienced stripe on, which really keeps them fighting a lot longer than just gold. Nice little hit there by the Scipio cavalry there, just routed one of the enemy SPQR units. So you see, as I say here, a lot of pressure on our infantry at the moment. But nice little surgical hits by Trajan with his cavalry. Bang! Goes in, causes damage, and then pulls out before he gets in any harm's way. There was a nice little surgical cavalry hit there. Yes, they're very battle damaged cavalry, but they can still do their bit overall here in the battle. Right, there's another SPQR unit that's just warmed up, charging into the fray. But you can see those fire arrows still going into us there. Another nice hit by Trajan. His cavalry routed one of the Brutio units. Nice hit there. Using that battle damaged cavalry extremely well. In fact, he routed 2 enemy units there with that cavalry. Nice use of cavalry there. Right, if you notice, I've started to... That's one of our generals who's just been killed. If you notice, I'm starting to turn defence into attack. I'm starting to attack now with my infantry. But say, I think Trajan's general's just been taken out, and that unit will now rout. So any of his units that were left now will obviously lose that general bonus that they would get from him. But as I say, I've started to attack with my infantry now. I've moved out of defence into attack. What I'd probably like to do is take out that Brutio general, if I could. Notice a lot of the enemy SPQR troops are attacking there.
Running from the field like cowards and turncoats.
And those fire arrows are still coming in on us now, still causing panic. Still lowering the morale of our troops. As one of my Scipio units just been routed, fought down to 4 men. So that's not bad. As you can see, it's really on a knife edge at the moment which way it's going to go. As I say, if the Macedon units start to mass rout, that would spark off our units and we could have a mass rout on our hands here. The pressure that has been put in on our troops here. Good to see one of the enemy units starting to rout there. Oh, that's another one of our generals just been taken out.
Much heartache. Much better to have lived.
I see TR is moving some of his, that's our Macedon general just been taken out. So lowering the morale, there you go, the Macedon general has just been taken out, so the morale of the Macedon units that are left will now drop. As you can see, I see TR is still taking some of his Sacred Band spear units round. We've just routed the Carthage general there, which is good from our point of view. I see the SBQR general still alive, so he'll be giving morale to his troops, but as I say, the Macedon, our Macedon allies going off the field there, has been routed. So this battle really is going down to the wire here. See, a lot of the enemy troops are starting to rout. If we can just rout that SBQR general. Do you notice I'm taking a lot of my battle damage infantry over to that side of the battlefield there with a view to try and take out the SBQR general. Notice I'm running troops over there. Really want to take out that SBQR general. There we go. We managed to take him out. And just pause the game for a second. Just want to show you the intensity of this battle here. If we look from one flank here, right the way across the centre of the battlefield here, you can see how intense the fighting was by just the piles of dead there. See piles of cavalry and infantry all the way across, carpeting the battlefield, right the way across our main battle line here. Just goes to show how intense the battle was. Right over to the left flank, there was intensive fighting there as well. As you see, that was a very intense and close battle there. But luckily for our team, we've managed to rout the enemy last of the enemy units there, and our team has managed to go on to win. But look how many men I got left. 11 men in that unit. Remember, these Macedon units are 120 man units, reduced to 31, 32. I think one of my units got 3 men in, so you can see how battle damaged the units are that we've got left there. So just to say, first thing I'd like to say is really well done to everybody in the game there, as we thought it would be a close victory there. So as I say, really well done to everybody in the game. And I'd just like to draw your attention here. If you go down to the bottom of the battle results there, can you see that TR and Icarus have got the 2 highest kills in the battle? So Icarus and TR got the 2 highest kills in the battle. That's unusual for the 2 of the highest kills to be in the losing team. But as I say, it was such a close battle there, and our allies got good kills as well. But I guess ours was just kind of just a little bit more across the board kills than what they got there, and that's why we've just managed to kind of scrape a win there. But I'd just like to say really well done to IOW Winnie the Pooh, well done to BH members Bark, TR and Icarus. Nice attacking, aggressive play there, guys. That's some really good teamwork. But also really well done to Trajan, Terry Wong and Legion 22. Really well played, guys. Some nice supporting teamwork there as well. I think everybody in the game showed some great teamwork and really aggressive battle there. I hope you enjoyed this close battle, and this is Spartan Commander saying bye for now.